Hello, everybody. I'm Chris, CEO of Sugatan, and I'm here with Haley, our lead video strategist inside Sugatan, who under her belt has spent 1.5 million in ad spend successfully over the time that she's been with us in trackable ad spend. That has translated to a minimum of 3 million in revenue for our clients, and that's on the conservative side. And today we are going to go over one of the top performing video ads inside HeyBud as part of our case study that we have shared with you guys in the community. Just to summarize, HeyBud is an account that in 4 months we have increased the revenue by 284%. We've been a catalyst of that through our creative production and media buying innovations that we've implemented inside HeyBud. And so we're going to go over one video ad in particular. At this point, it has spent around 100K and has plus and has generated around 300,000 in revenue, just this one ad alone. And what we're going to do is we're going to break it down for you guys. But before we actually break it down, I just want to go over what our main principles are when we produce video ads in particular and creatives in general. And, you know, it's different from like how a normal creative agency would produce creatives. We specifically emphasize on performance that is ROI positive at scale. And in order to achieve that very difficult achievement, our creatives has to follow like three main principles. Number one, the main messaging arc needs to relate to multiple demographic segments, meaning that it is relatable across many age ranges. It is something that the mainstream can relate to, because what we do is we produce viral ads. Number two is that the messaging follows what we call impulse first principles. And impulse first principles, in order to generate a viral ad, has to be person centric first and foremost, as opposed to brand centric. So that's really important for you guys to know. And then number three, the creative follows platform first principles. So it is first second focused, native to the platform, and once again is very relatable to the viewer. And so Haley here is going to break down why this video ad in particular worked, and her process, you know, her and her team's process for actually developing it. So, hi, Haley.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you taking time out of, you know you have so many things going on, especially that I've been putting so much on you. But I think it is important for us to give visibility to our community as we start giving a lot of value once again community about what it is that we're doing. And so let's talk about this video ad.
Yes. Oh my gosh, let's do it. So should I share my screen right now and we can start, or?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, however you want to go.
All right, let's do it. Well, I'll give a preface first just about the ad. Like Chris said, we have a client, HeyBud, and they obviously deal in skincare. And, you know, when working with a brand like this, it's really difficult to use one of our favorite, you know, converting principles and decisions to really trigger the impulse in people, which is demonstration. And with a product that relates to skincare, that's something really difficult to do. And we've, you know, worked so many years to try to master this, because demonstration is such a good video principle. I mean, you have to be able to show, but it's really difficult to show how something could work on a 20-30 second video ad. So this ad is a really cool example of, you know, how it can reach the masses. And I think it was specifically, you know, looking back at the original ideation and working with the team, you know, it seemed really general in the moment. And then looking back, it's like, well, now it makes sense. It really can attach to so many different people and problems more than just one person might have. So
Yeah.
let's look at this.
Okay, cool. First of all, how lengthy is this video?
This ad is 20 seconds long, as we
Okay.
can see.
And that's intentional on you guys' end, right?
Yeah. And especially now, I mean, I don't think myself or my team has made an ad longer than 35 seconds, honestly, in a long time. Yeah. So, and I don't know if that's, obviously times are changing. I think TikTok obviously revolutionized this whole attention span and that type of deal. But yeah, exactly. So, okay, should maybe we just do a quick watch through and then we can maybe break down?
Sure, let's do it. Let's do full screen.
Yes, let me go. There we go.
Bum 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 bum. Wait, I can do that better. What if it's like?
So yeah,
awesome.
as you can see, very simple.
Yeah, but I love this. Actually, when I was going through all of the top performing video ads, I understood immediately why this was the winner out of all of them, out of the entire batch. So first of all, this is our content creator, Lauren. So let's go over from the beginning in terms of like your process for even, let's go from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like, how did you guys come up with this idea? Where did it come from? Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it's so funny. This idea is based, which is really new, I think, because this was never a thing back in the day of like Facebook ads, is it was based around the audio. And that's something, you know, back in the day, we were always told, like, it doesn't matter about the audio. Like you can, people don't watch the audio. And one of my little things I do just weekly, daily strategy is I spend hours on TikTok. I scroll, and it sounds crazy, but it's like, it's part of the job. And, you know,
Thank God it's part of the job, because it makes me feel totally okay with like spending 3 hours on the platform at a time. I'm like, holy shit.
Exactly. It's so addictive. And it's literally a part of the strategy, because you have to be in there and just seeing what are people responding to. So just looking for audios and trends, we came across this audio and I saw it and I thought, well, man, this is just being covered by every person out there. It wasn't just one niche. It was many people were using it. It was obviously a very viral audio. So immediately I save it and it's like, all right, how can we implement this into an ad? So we knew we wanted to do something.
So interesting that it was really inspired by the audio, huh?
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's literally so backwards compared to a lot of ads.
Yeah.
But now, granted, it follows the data that had been working for this account, which was transformations. So, you know, the fact that it had a beat drop, it had this beginning that turned into this, you know, boom, it kind of insinuated like, oh, well, this is like the perfect setup to create a sequence of a transformation. And we can do that with the fact that we have this in-house creator who is super good at UGC content. She understands the shots. She understands the trends. She also knows the trends. So she knew exactly what we wanted when we were like, hey, we're going to do this. And, you know, we would just need you to, like, she got it. And that's obviously, the person you see.
Well, she executed on this before and after flawlessly. It was so apparent. The transformation is so like not even questionable. And that she did such a phenomenal job on that. And that's the job of the content creator. Because like at some point you kind of have to let the strategy go and allow them to execute. And Lauren did phenomenal in her before and after execution.
Exactly. Because before and after is something difficult to do. I mean, we know it's very tricky So, but yeah, and then of course I'll just jump in, our first frames. Obviously this is, the most vital part of our ad.
Oh my God, so vital.
Yeah. So, if we look at our first 3 seconds, we'll just play. Okay. So we're at 3 seconds. By 3 seconds, we've captured who we need to capture. That was like the big part of this. And the reason I kind of brought up earlier, how this became more general than I know I originally wanted. And I remember in the final review of the ad, it was, I kind of wanted this to be more just about blackheads or just about acne. And we had these pop-ups coming in, and it was like, well, maybe some people have dry skin, and maybe some people only have scars, and maybe some people only have oily skin. And so this kind of does go against maybe the rule of pick one thing.
Focusing on one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then it's like, when you think about, well, if we're targeting cold audiences and we want to make sure we're reaching as many people as possible. And if our topic is pain points, why would we not include the pain points that this product fights? And it fights multiple.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. Well, I want to, before we go into the 3 seconds, I want to go into first frame.
Oh yeah.
Because it's that's the thumb stopper to me.
Yeah.
How, why do I choose to just even invest in looking at this out of all of the things on my feed, and just to stop and see what the next 3 seconds actually looks like. And, it goes into the fact that Lauren is totally relatable. She has no makeup on, and is just bare skinned, but yet you can tell that she's someone that, she has even just the rings that she has on her fingers, it already says something without saying something, that you're just already kind of intrigued about this girl. That's for me, from, obviously I don't have any skin issues, but to me, the very first thing is the relatability of the girl.
100%.
And not that all girls need to be relatable, because there are those girls that also have the unique distinctive look that also works and is a thumb stopper. But with Lauren, I think she comes off as very relatable, and I think the thing too is she's doing an action that is also extremely relatable. All of us look at the right here, right?
Yeah.
All of the things that
picking
build up
face.
right here on the nostril. Yeah, and just picking your face
Yep.
from that. And so I feel that is okay. That's already the first frame is super important. I feel that's why the first frame works.
And that's so funny, because another top performing ad for this account was an angle about picking a face. And I had her do a shot, or she filmed a shot.
So good.
She's just and I was like, oh,
on the couch, literally just on the couch, just with a bandana on, and then just picking her face. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's something. I mean, there's nobody who doesn't pick their face. You can have the best skin ever.
Yeah.
Everybody at some point is gonna look at their face just like this. I mean, you're gonna literally, that action is so. I think when you see it, it just looks like, oh, I've seen that before. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And then, we go in right into the pain points. So already, the first frame is interesting enough. It's relatable. And then we've got our pain points thrown out. And if any of those relate to anybody, I mean, there's a more likely chance they're going to watch. Mm-hmm. And obviously the fact that this audio is highly recognizable, even if someone didn't see this audio, by the time they get, which here, I'll get to it.
Wait, I can do that better.
By the time they get to this, most people I know I'm inclined to turn the audio on, or I'm like, oh, something might be happening here. And we have text. So now I'm waiting. Now I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
What is going to happen? And then,
what if it's
and here,
she's so cute.
Yeah, and obviously her shots are amazing. She's in the car, in a tank top. Here she's in a sweatshirt, in her room. And I think the main thing about this, because this ad originally only had this shot. And I remember thinking the lighting is obviously better. Her skin looks fantastic. Obviously,
Her
she
skin
had
looks
been
fantastic.
right. So it really does well, and her reaction is perfect because it's shocking, but it's not fake.
It's
But
not
then
fake. That's
exactly.
super important because like how many UGC ads or UGC content creators have we seen that have been sponsored and paid, and then they like do this like,
Right.
oh god, it's so
I
fake.
know.
We had this one account and we have so many UGCs, and it's like, oh, that's amazing, I have so much to work with, and then we go through all of them, they're just like terrible because they're just like acting.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me, or like, no, they're like pretty bad. And then I
Oh
went
yeah.
in there and looked at them, and I was like, oh god, they're so bad. You can't even use them because of how fake the reactions are, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, and like she's not even talking in this, and like her reaction still just feels very real. And
Yeah, exactly.
in both ways, like
So
here
good.
you can just feel like a genuine happiness about like what happened.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
like that. I look bad. I look BA. I look good. You know.
right. And I think it
I
was really
feel good.
important to show both like two different after shots just because it's like
100%.
you can't argue it's the lighting. You can't argue that she maybe has a filter on. Like it's like this is her skin. Like
And you know that's actually phenomenal execution because of the fact that if I had only seen one, then it's kind of like, there's something that she manipulated. Maybe she's wearing makeup, right? And then the second one, it's like, oh, she looks good, you know? And it's like in a very relatable setting, like in the car. We know in the car, like videos to me, I always watch them because they're so relatable.
Always. And like I'm literally the same way. Like I'll see an ad, especially if they go fast. I feel like a lot of transformation ads will be like, oh, here's what they look like now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think let's also talk about the fact that the product is really great. Like the product does execute on it. So of course, like the founders did a great job in producing a high quality product, and that makes our job is like better to execute on when the product actually does what it says it's going to do. And so yeah, Lauren did phenomenal on this, and you guys storyboarding and ideating, you guys did so well.
And my favorite part, I think, is that like I don't even like this text is aiding as a supplement. It's more like you're watching the visual, and if you happen to glance at the text, it's like we get you see the brand, even if you don't even read that, the brand's in there, the product's in there, and a timeline is in there. So if you happen to look at it, it's like, oh, okay. Like,
well, let's talk about like it being the importance of it being platform centric. So I think one of the things to talk about, and I think a lot of people are not really currently confident in executing, is like there's a whole bunch of buzz around like, oh, a lot of founders and growth marketers need to invest in TikTok. Everybody is going to TikTok now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of confusion around like basically, you know, cross transferring this kind of content into Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And one of our principles is that our creatives have to be our video ads need to be platform centric, and it has to prioritize the nativity on the platform rather than trying to slap on the way that the brand wants to advertise the brand, because then it's brand centric and not person centric, which is the whole point of social media in the first place, is it's people centric. Right. So let's talk about it, you guys like using this type of font treatment, even though that it is performing on Facebook, because the Facebook split, that ad spend skews towards Facebook mostly. And so that's something we didn't disclose, but this is performing on Facebook, and Facebook is still, with our ad buying methodology, is still bringing in high quality traffic through its targeting. And then TikTok is supplementing the performance. It's just, it's it's supplementing it right now currently. So yeah, let's talk about it being native to the platform, because I think a lot of people are still doing the BuzzFeed style video ads, which I think there are some that definitely still work, but it's now the exception and the minority. And so let's talk about, this copy treatment. I want to get your thoughts on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're so right. Cause I think people do just, how do you make ads for both? And like you just said, like this ad was made for TikTok the same way. I mean, and it's very similar. But obviously we did change a couple things. But yeah, I mean, the text here is a copy of TikTok text. And to me, the general gist of what this says is, at the end of the day, people don't care about what the font is and what the look is. Is it supposed to be for TikTok or Facebook? It's because the content fits the style and approach of the messaging, and the content leads this ad, and the messaging and the typeface and the color and all of that, all those really used to be important Facebook elements are aiding the story of our content. And that's, and obviously you want it to look good. You want it to match your platform. But yeah, the fact that, the original content, the text, I mean, everything about this is made for TikTok. And it's crazy, but it's to me, it's just the fact that it's highly recognizable. Someone who isn't even on TikTok, who doesn't even know that this is TikTok text, it won't affect them in any negative way. Whereas someone who does recognize it might affect them in a positive way, because they recognize that, this was maybe a TikTok. And some people, that inherently makes them trust it more, because if you think this looks like it was from TikTok and it's made it to my Facebook, and if people on TikTok are buying this, I don't know, in my head, that it's almost another layer of social proof. And
right, exactly. I mean, that's a very interesting thing, because all of Facebook and Instagram is following the behavior of TikTok. So even now when I open my Facebook, it's almost making me watch the viral reels. All of the viral reels are following the TikTok format. And it's so entertaining, and it's so engaging, and it's usually really short, and it's to the point, and it's delivering on the promise every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now that Facebook's incorporated that little, it pops up every time you open the app.
Every time.
And your reel, I mean, you can literally see the same stuff from Reels and TikTok. And that, I think, has really helped. Yeah.
Huge, massive. So yeah, I think that's really, that's really important for sure. Cool. I feel like we've covered it. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about maybe the outro a little bit, because now we're going into this. We didn't go into the last 5 seconds, so maybe let's go into the last 5 seconds.
Right, exactly. So yeah, once we finish, I mean, this is basically the trend, right? The audio is completed. We've got our before after. Now, to me, I mean, and it's funny because originally, we had this, and then it's we still need something. I'm very I need to see it, even if it's not a full demo, I need to see the product in some way.
100%.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
of course, it's what am I buying?
Exactly. It's okay, great. But what is it?
What is it?
And we have it.
It's actually funny, because I feel like people actually miss something as basic as that. Sometimes I've come into auditing people's accounts or video, businesses accounts, or auditing video ads, and I'm just but what is it? It's you're missing, what am I buying? And so yeah, it's such a great point.
And this is where it gets hard, because we have here it says, "Hey Buds hemp clay mask," and it's okay, I now I at least have words of what it is. But even when we're describing it, I just am what words in the shortest, easiest to digest copy can we put at the end of this ad, I remember, like, we need 5 seconds more. Like, we just need to put what this is. And that's where we, you know, we have all natural anti-acne hemp skincare. And it's like, that can define this brand without saying buy our brand. That can define this product without saying buy this product. It's like, you know, if all natural resonates with you, if anti-acne resonates with you, it's hemp skincare. Those are the buzzwords we want attached to that. And then here you get a fun, I mean, why not add in another, this has also worked as like a first 3 second shot, but it's interesting. It's not just a picture of like, or a video of the mask. It's, whoa, like you can see it. It looks creamy. It looks cool. So
also the fact that you like chose, like, did you put that on a mirror that was reflective on a blue sky to like really give it that contrast, which is like,
filmed it.
That's genius, you know? To like really pop out that green, because actually when I go on HeyBud's product site, the product page, the green doesn't actually translate on the product page the way that we've actually filmed it. And it's the thing that actually gives it that visual appeal. And so it's for us, you know, even because what you said, Haley, is that this is a performing first second frame in some of the other top performing ads that we've produced for HeyBud. So this actually, here it's the outro, but in the other top performing ads, it's actually the intro. And that's because of that contrast and texture and how close up the framing is, so that you can actually, for me, I always say that in our ads, you want to activate the senses. You know, you want to like, it's activating the senses is activating the fantasy. As soon as you activate people's fantasy of what it's like to have that product, what it's like to feel it, you're getting closer to an impulse purchase, you know, because that's really what an impulse purchase is like the step is like, you start to imagine your life with it. You start to imagine what it would be like if it actually improved your pain point that you're experiencing. And then that's when they start to get a little emotionally attached to getting closer to the buying decision. That's what this does.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, like, some people, I do think, fail a lot of times at the end of an ad because we're so conscious of like this,
the first frame.
And it's like, well, why not throw,
and then it's like PS.
Right. And so it's like, well, why not throw a shot that people might also find really interesting? Because if they make it to here, like, let them finish it. Like, we want them to watch it. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing about you, Haley, is that you're so thorough that like you'll complete a detail all the way to the very end.
We try.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that pretty much does it. I think a lot of people can get a lot of value from it, hopefully. And you know, thanks Haley for your time. Really appreciate it, and spending time breaking this down with us. And then back to production.
Okay, so if you know that you have a creative issue, and you know, if you do, you know you need more performing creatives, or your creatives currently are dying, or you have creatives that are not really spending above $25,000, for example, for each of the creatives that your team is producing or your agency is producing, whatever it is. We actually created a true performance creative bundle specifically for those who have decent ad buyers. And if you do, lucky you, hold on to them because they are very hard to find. But you haven't really figured out the creative piece. This bundle is for you guys. We are actually accepting applications for this specific bundle because we have an ad buying bottleneck issue inside Sugatan, because we have a really high like criteria for identifying ad buyers, and we have actually more creative strategists than we do ad buyers at the moment. And so we are here to help those who just know that you guys need performing creative. So we created this bundle for you. It's 100 total ads, 38 unique concepts coming from both video ad and graphics, and that's what comes with it is like original copywriting research. We do market research that's involved in that. We do competitive intelligence research. And then we implement an agile process for essentially getting to the top performing messaging arcs. I'm involved in this process because I qualify all of the top messaging arcs that the team produces to ensure that this is what, to increase the possibility of it actually performing inside your account. So make sure you guys apply for that. We do have limited slots available for it, and hopefully we get to work with your business and that my team and I get to know you guys, because we just love the ecom community. Thanks.